You're standing there with one shoe on, keys in your hand, gym bag on the floor like it's quietly daring you to move. And somehow that small moment feels heavier than the workout itself. Not the sets, not the sweat, not even the effort, the leaving the house part. If you recognize that moment, don't turn it into a personality diagnosis. This reaction has a reason. Your brain learned it. Because what looks like laziness from the outside is often something much more specific on the inside. Your system hesitating at a transition. The body likes stable environments. The mind likes predictable next steps. And the doorway is where both of those get interrupted. The first reason it feels hard is that leaving isn't one action. It's a switch. At home, everything is familiar. Your brain knows the lighting, the noise, the pace. Even if your home isn't perfect, it's known territory. You don't have to scan. You don't have to adjust. You can be slightly on autopilot. Then you decide to go to the gym and your body senses a different setting coming. Public space, movement, unknown variables, timing, people, a different rhythm. So before you even open the door, your energy shifts. You feel it as heaviness, as a small resistance in the chest, as that weird pause where you check the time, see you're not late, and still you don't move. Keys up, keys down, the little clink of metal in your hand, the gym bag strap waiting by the door. One more sip of water, one more look at your phone that turns into just a second. That urge isn't random. It's your internal system trying to keep things steady. Transitions cost effort. And when you're already carrying stress or fatigue, even normal transitions can feel expensive. That's why you can genuinely like the gym and still stall in the hallway. Once you're there, you can do the work. The hard part is crossing from one mode into another. The second reason is the preview your mind runs. Not motivation, not discipline. The preview. You picture the gym and your brain doesn't just see equipment. It forecasts sensation. The first few minutes where your body feels stiff, the burn you expect too early, that moment you imagine yourself breathing harder than you want to. So your mind rehearses it. It thinks rehearsal equals safety. If it can predict the discomfort, it can protect you from being surprised by it. But the side effect is that the discomfort arrives early before you've moved. Your body starts bracing for something that hasn't happened yet, and bracing burns energy. You can recognize this pattern elsewhere. One email becomes hard because you picture the reply. One phone call becomes hard because you picture the whole conversation. It's not the action. It's the emotional cost your mind attaches to it. So if you feel tired before you even leave, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means your brain is pricing the experience in advance. The third reason is the pressure hiding inside, I'll go. A lot of people think they're avoiding the gym, but what they're avoiding is the invisible contract they feel the moment they commit. Because leaving doesn't feel like, I'll just do what I can. It feels like, now I have to do it properly. Now you have to be consistent. Now you have to prove something. And that's where the resistance sharpens. Not because the gym demands perfection, but because your mind translates going into identity. If you go today, what does that mean about tomorrow? If you go today, can you keep being this version of you? If you can't, will it feel like another broken promise? So your system tries to protect you from that future disappointment by avoiding the commitment in the first place. It keeps you in the safer space of about to, still intending, still planning, still in control of the story. And this is the twist most people miss. The resistance isn't always against effort. Sometimes it's against expectation. The fourth reason is visibility, specifically the walk-in, because it's not just that you're seen, it's that you're seen entering, seen deciding where to go, seen choosing a machine, seen adjusting your headphones, seen doing that little scan of the room like you're trying to pretend you're not scanning the room. Trying is vulnerable in a place like that. For people who have any history of being judged for trying by family, classmates, co-workers, public effort can carry an old sting. The body remembers that sting faster than the mind remembers context. So home becomes the safer identity. The version of you that no one can evaluate. The version of you that doesn't have to look like anything. It's not that you don't want health or progress. It's that you don't want to feel exposed while unfinished. And then there's another layer that's almost too simple, which is why people overlook it. Movement changes your internal state, breathing, heart rate, sensation, temperature, attention. And if you've been overloaded, even a small change in state can feel like too much, not logically, physically. So the doorway becomes the moment where your body says, I don't know if I have capacity for this today. Here's what's actually happening. You're not debating the gym. You're negotiating the cost of switching states. That's why the leaving part can feel heavier than the workout, because leaving is the threshold, the point where planning ends and reality begins. Now, this can feel different depending on where you are in life. When you're younger, the gym can feel like a mirror. It's about looking right, belonging, comparison. Later, it can feel more like maintenance, less about being seen, more about being able to live in your body without it feeling like a burden. And that shift can add a different kind of weight, not louder, just more real. Because now skipping doesn't just feel like skipping, it can feel like time. And time pressure doesn't motivate the body. It often makes the body tense. Which brings us to the quiet truth underneath the whole pattern. Staying home is soothing because it's predictable, a known rhythm. Leaving interrupts that rhythm and asks your system to tolerate unpredictability, effort, and visibility all at once. So your brain reaches for what calms you fastest, delay, detours, tomorrow. Your brain is choosing relief first. That's human. So if you stood there with the keys again, feeling ridiculous because it's just the gym, don't make it a moral verdict. It's not proof you're lazy. It's proof this transition feels expensive to your system right now, especially if you're tired, especially if life has been loud, especially if your mind has been crowded for weeks. And if today you didn't go, let it be information instead of shame. Let it be a signal about what your body finds costly, not evidence that you're doomed. Because even the fact that you keep returning to the doorway, keys in hand, bag on the floor, means something gentle and important. A part of you still wants to move, not perfectly, not heroically, just in a way that feels safe enough to be real. If this felt familiar, you'll recognize yourself in the next one. Subscribe if you want more of that, and pick another video now, the one you're slightly avoiding because it feels too accurate.